Tom, and welcome to Bethnal Green. I'm going to call it the world famous Paul Bethnal Green, because if you haven't been here and experienced the fight night here, it is unique.
There is no other venue like this in the UK, and on Saturday night it's going to be packed out, and I'm sure we're in for a really good night's entertainment. Matthew Macklin, Johnny Nelson with me. A quick word with both of you before we get on with the media workouts. Johnny, I'm going to come to you first. Your old division, Viddal Riley. I did an interview with him this week and he said, finally, people are taking me seriously. Gone are the talk of the rap, the fashion, the YouTube element of it. He's a cruiserweight contender now. And on Saturday night, if he can come through Nathan Corliss, and it's a big if, he becomes English champion.
I love this fight. As soon as I thought that's a good fight. And I think this, so far as a professional fighter, will be Viddal's toughest fight on paper so far as a professional fighter. No, Corliss has not come to make the numbers up. An unbeaten fighter to think, you know what, I want that English title. And he's a scalp. Viddal's in a position where he's not a champion, but he's a scalp. Everyone wants to hunt him down because he's got the popularity, he's got the backing. He's frustrated that people didn't take him seriously before because of his connection to the YouTube world. And so he's had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's been a bit arrogant in regards to how he responds to people. But now he's proved, look, I can fight. Look how I'm dispatching fighters. This fight on Saturday, as soon as I saw it, I thought, that is got an English title fight. That is what I'm talking about. It's actually a British title fight. I actually think it's that level there. But it'll be a good one.
Talking about taken seriously, it isn't a problem that Caroline Dubois, our other co-headliner, she's not had that problem. I think anybody who is anybody in the boxing scene domestic at the moment, everyone's talking about Caroline Dubois, and it's because of what she's achieved so far. In a relative short amount of time, she hasn't put her foot wrong. I think earlier on Sky Sports News you said maybe she just rushed her work on her debut, but since then, I mean, there's been no looking back. She is a quality all-round operator, and they've thrown her in risk and reward. There is some risk with this one. Magali Rodriguez, her opponent, proven quality, but I like this bit of matchmaking, and I wonder if you feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, I said about her pro debut being a bit eager, because I thought I've got to say something a little bit negative here, because I sound like a fanboy, because it's difficult to pick anything. She's been unbelievable. She's been exciting. She's got knockouts, body punches. You know, she's the pace that she fights at. She's really got the hype around her at the minute, but she's created that hype with the performances. This is a tough fight. You know, this is going to be a competitive fight, but I think she's ready for it, because I think, you know, she's on the verge of, you know, calling out the likes of Michaela Mayer and these people. So she needs a fight like this on Saturday night.
Brilliant. Well, let's get you over to our MC for today, Big Mo, and I'll spin you around, and he's going to welcome our first fighter to the ring, which will be Nathan Corliss.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to our chief support this Saturday for Boxer Breakthrough here at the world-famous Your Call. 10 3-minute rounds for the vacant English Cruiserweight Championship. Introducing first, he is undefeated with 12 wins, no defeats. He fights out of Liverpool, England. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Nathan Corliss.
So you heard Big Mo on the intros there talking up Nathan Corliss's record, 12-0. He's unbeaten. He's won every fight that he's ever taken part in. He was a good amateur as well. I think he got to the ABA semi-finals on 2 occasions. Corliss, anybody that knows that surname in the Liverpool area will know that he's the nephew of Noel Corliss, who fought Lennox Lewis in this arena, I think, back in the day. So he's from good stock, Matt. And the only question mark for me is we haven't had him on a televised bill. He was part of the Liam Smith undercard, and we filmed him, but it wasn't broadcast. Good, well-schooled, good fundamentals. What does he have to do to beat Viddal Riley? It's a bit of an open-ended question, but what does he have to do? I mean, he has to box well.
He has to box well, and he's got to keep it going for the duration. I feel he's not a big puncher, so I think he probably lacks a bit of firepower. Is he crafty enough? Is he good enough for a boxer to outbox Viddal for the 10 rounds? Not sure. You know, Viddal for me is a lot better than people realise. I think because he was, you know, initially known for his YouTube following, etc. It kind of took away from what he'd actually achieved as an amateur, and he achieved a lot. And you know, I've seen him now several times as a professional, and he's made for the pros. He's got a very fluid, relaxed style. Punches in combinations, got a nice jab, and I think there's there's a lot left in Viddal. I think he hasn't even scratched the surface of what's in him. He's just got to develop that now. Fights like this on Saturday night, he's a step in that right direction.
Johnny, I wonder if we're all getting a bit too hung up on what BoxRec says, which is no knockouts, and Viddal has stopped his last 4. How important is that? Is it important at all? You can't get by the fact that Viddal in his last 4 has looked heavy-handed, and I don't know if it's a mentality thing or a technique change, but he's looking to take people out of there. And as of yet, despite I think he's dropped a couple of opponents, scoreless, but he hasn't stopped anyone.
I think it's about the level of opposition. You can be a banger when there's people to bang, and that can't take the shot or just aren't of your level. So Viddal, it's looked good for him because he can punch. But as the opposition gets higher, that knockout ratio, we'll see if he can carry it past domestic, past Commonwealth, past European to world level. So it's hard to say someone's a banger until they're at that level and they can carry it up there. For Nathan, I actually worry about fighters that are unbeaten that are actually not bangers, because it means they're very clever boxers. They're technically astute, they're on point. So, and the knockout will come. Every fighter can punch. The knockout will come up. Some fighters are better boxers than they are bangers. Nathan's obviously a better boxer than he's a banger. So let's not write off the possibilities, because we've seen it so many times where we say this kid's not a banger, and all of a sudden he's pulled it out of the bag. You think, wow.
I'm going to tell a story here, and I hope it's true. I don't know if it's true, but I do like the story, so I'll tell it anyway. That down in the Sanagar gym in Bristol, they very much had this mentality of, when you're off TV, box to a points decision. Box to a points decision, because you'll get to a level, we know you can punch in the gym, but everyone will look past you, and then you can explode on the scene. And I don't know if that's true, but he certainly went through a period where, like, Lee Selby just exploded, and he did look heavy-handed, and it's things like that you think, yeah, but is it just a really clever story, or is there truth to it? I don't know, but
there's method to the madness, and not what I'm saying. So when you see a fighter that's not much of a banger, people don't give him the rep, and then all of a sudden he starts to take them out, and you think, wow, where's that come from? So don't write him off because he doesn't look like he's a banger, and he's going in against someone that's had the opposition, that he's just been heads and shoulders above. I think when I saw this on paper, I loved this fight. I thought this will be a good test for Viddal for us to assess how good he is on a domestic level. And if he walks through Nathan and he makes it pretty easy, this should be British title fight. Because then you look at the other domestic cruiserweights around there, you think, wow.
Let's play matchmaker for a second. The winner of this, if I was Ben Schlomman boxer, put the winner of this in with the loser of Lowell Chamberlain, and then maybe that's a logical step. But actually, if I'm the winner of this fight, this cruiserweight fight of the weekend, I'm going to say I want the winner. Why not? Let's go straight for the British title from the English. It is an old school stepping, I don't want to call it a stepping stone because that's unfair to the English title, but it's a progression. It's an old school progression.
No, I think that is fair. It is a progression to the British title, and I think whoever wins on Saturday night isn't going to want to fight the loser. They'd rather fight the winner. I think they probably want to just go straight for the British title.
Okay, you two just stand there for a second. Simon, I'm just going to walk around to this side of the ring, because you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the neutral corner here, you can see some of the members of the team. But over here you can see Viddal Riley's dad right through the legs of Nathan Corliss. I'm just going to go over there and I'm going to see if he'll give me a quick word as to what he's talking about. Georgie Schofield grabbing it. Georgie, you're with Team Corliss. I mean, you've been there since the start. What's Nathan like as a character, not as a fighter? What's he like as a personality?
He's just a nice, calm lad. He doesn't brag about anything. Nothing like that. You just get on with it tonight. Tomorrow, sorry. And he's got his handful, Nathan.
You could have been describing yourself there, nice and laid back. Good to see you, Georgie Schofield. I mean, what a throwback character in the Liverpool boxing scene. Obviously, great nights with the some of the boxing families up there. Derek, we are live. I haven't asked you permission to do this, but Viddal Riley's father, you're a keen observer here. Not giving anything away, but what is it that you're looking for? What have you spotted? Can you tell us anything?
I don't know what I've spotted, but there's things I'm looking at. I can see a lot of holes. So, yeah, and listen, it's mental pressure. This game, 85, maybe 90% mental. It's all about the pressure. He can see me, and he can feel the pressure.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't stand behind. This was planned, standing so he can so he can see you. And I'm just looking around for, is Viddal watching or is Viddal taking it in his stride? Yeah, I think he's had a little look. He's had a little look. Viddal, I'm going to catch up with you later, but I was just saying to your old man, it's not an accident he's positioned himself here in the eye line of Corliss and Team Corliss.
No, we don't do accidents on our team. Whatever we do, we mean it. So my dad said he means it, and it's the week to mean everything we're doing. So that's why it's part of it.
I'll catch up with you later. I don't want to distract you too much. Now, right behind you is Jamie TKV. Jamie, I'm being told that we were going to set up a little bit of a face-to-face with your opponent, and I have to say he's a big guy. He's around. He is around. You can't miss him. How are you, though? More importantly, we spoke to you on Sky Sports News just briefly in the week. We like this as a bit of matchmaking. There's a bit of jeopardy with this. He's a big guy and he can punch. There's a lot to like on paper.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a big puncher, so I need to be wary of what's to come. You know, he's a good boxer, so it's going to be a good fight overall.
You had a little face-off. I mean, he's here. I'm going to ask him to come in. Igor, we are live. We don't want any trouble here. It's professional sport, and you've already done a face-off. We had a word with your opponent earlier. He's talking this up. This looks like a really good fight on paper. How confident are you? We don't know too much about you. Are you coming here to win on Saturday?
How are you, people? Firstly, I'm sorry because my English is no good, but it's okay.
It's very good. You're already doing great. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What?
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Igor Macedo? What can we expect?
Okay, my name is Igor Macedo. I'm fighting with professional boxing in Brazil. You okay? I'm here for a fight. I'm ready all time. Sorry, I'm all time. My opponent is very good fighting Saturday.
And 11 wins by knockout. You can punch a bit.
Yes, I have 11 knockout. My opponent too, 5 fights, but have a very experience because he athlete Olympic, very fight athlete Olympic. It's good. It's danger too, but I'm here, danger too. It's good fight.
I don't want to cause
trouble, but he says he's going to knock you out. Presumably the message is the same. Hey, we're going to see a knockout. That's all. We're going to see a knockout.
Heavyweight is knockout, my friend.
That's what people come to see.
Punches, big punch. Yes.
Yeah, you're making me feel very small. Can I ask you to do one last face-off?
It's different because I'm beautiful. He's no ugly.
Hey, I'm definitely prettier than him. I'm definitely prettier than him. I don't know what he's talking about.
Huh? It's okay, no problem.
Let's have one last face-off between the two of you. This is Jamie TKV, Igor Macedo. That's our heavyweight attraction on Saturday. Both men are promising a knockout. So you want to be in your seats nice and early. No, please don't. No, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. That felt. Thank you, Igor. Thank you. That felt like a good idea at the time, but I am absolutely got a sweat on there. Where were you? You were supposed to be closer.
I was stood there. I saw it. You started interview. You said you were doing your interview over there.
I know.
I had to come round here and went, oh, there goes Andy again.
I just wish that you were closer. Andy from security, please don't ever leave me like that again. I got quite a big sweat on. Let's keep going round. So let me just turn you around. So Viddal Riley is doing his workout. Took Viddal Riley down to Tottenham Hotspur's training grounds last week. He met Ledley King. And an early win in the build-up for Viddal. I said, what do you think the score will be in the North London derby? And he confidently said it will be 2-2. And lo and behold, it was. So when he speaks, I think we're all going to have to start listening to him. So I'm going to bring you back round this way, just while Viddal goes through a couple of stretches. Because I was actually putting on I was really quite scared then. I didn't think they would get that close. Come on over. Callum Simpson, I'm going to jump straight on you. We are live on Sky. Good to see you. We like this fight. We like this jeopardy in this bit of matchmaking. Jose de Jesus Macia. I mean, he's got some real upsets on that record, and there's people out there, they might not know his name, but if you look at his CV, he's more than capable of upsetting the home favourite being you in this respect.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's a fight I'm very excited for as well. You know, like I said out there, I'm looking forward to fighting Jermaine Brown. I'm looking forward more so to this one. You know, I feel like it's a tougher fight for me. And, you know, I think he's ranked much higher than Jermaine Brown. That's why we got it for a title. And it just shows the confidence I've got in myself. My team's got in me. I'm expecting a hard fight, but it shows it's the fights that I need to step up in them levels and show what I'm about. So, very good fight for me on Saturday.
Very well said. Can you just repeat the story you told us on Sky Sports News earlier in the week? So you were in camp over in Canada, and Eric Bazinian was in camp, and he had shared the ring with your opponent, Jose Macias, and he said, look, he's no joke, he can fight.
Yeah, I literally, as soon as, obviously Eric Bazinian, he's in the same camp as Materbiev, so I seen him train, spoke to him, and then I put it on my story that I'm fighting him, and he replied to me straight away saying, tough guy, and then he said a few other little bits, but yeah, the main thing was saying that it were tough, and yeah, I mean, I watched that fight back, and he actually almost stopped Eric in the 7th round. He caught me a good shot, and yeah, it's like stopped Stephen Butler, caused some upsets, so that's not going to happen on Saturday, I'm sure.
At the same time, I think Boxer and those that have worked with you, they think that you've got a very high ceiling. So whilst there's a degree of risk with this, if you're going to go to where people think you're going to go and where you want to go, you have got to come through these types of fights that have got, like I say, a little bit of jeopardy in there, that this guy can punch and he could easily cause an upset. You won't be wanting to let that happen, though.
No, definitely not. You know, they say no risk, no reward. If I'm not happy to take this fight at this stage, then it just shows what I'm about. You know, if I believe I can go all the way, why would I turn this fight down? You know, when I believe that I'm above that and I'm going to keep, you know, that hope. You know, I can say whatever I want to say, but on Saturday I've got it. It's about me proving it to myself and everyone else as well.
He's a tough man. I mean, if you stop him, that is a real statement.
Yeah, you know, for me, I think I've learned a lot from my last fight. I'm not even bothered about stoppage or anything. I'm just going to go on there, put a clinical, measured performance on. The stoppage comes, it comes. But, you know, obviously I'm still going to put that high pressure on, putting my shots together like I do. But yeah, I feel like last fight I forced it a bit too much and pushed it a little bit. Like I said, I've come back from that fight, learned a lot from it, and hopefully I'll show a much more mature Callum Simpson on Saturday.
Great to see you, great to catch up with you. Look after yourself for the rest of fight week.
Oh, you see that? It's looking well. I don't know if you caught that on the microphone. No, he said it. I didn't realise you were behind me. Ben Shalom, great to see you. We'll start with Callum Simpson before I spin back round and show a bit of Viddal. But I think it's being applauded.
If Callum Simpson has got this high ceiling like everybody thinks he has to come through the likes of Jose Macias. But at the same time, Macias has on more than one occasion upset the home favourite. So I'm sure you're a little bit nervous about it, but it's quite a good thing to have, surely.
Yeah, I think Callum does have a lot of experience now, but this is his first time, you know, fighting someone who has fought world level. He's fought world level opposition. Jermaine Brown was a tough fight as well, so it's another tough fight. Yes, there's a bit more of the unexpected, but when he's talking about going back to Barnsley and fighting Jack Cullen for the British title and going to world level, he keeps telling me, Ben, I'm world level, not British level. Well, prove it on Saturday night, and yeah, it's a great fight. Credit to the matchmakers pulling it together, but he's got a test and he's going to have to focus from round one.
Stay with us. I'm going to get you to turn around. We'll just have a little bit of a watch of Viddal shadow boxing, nice and loose and languid on fight week. This again, good fight. I think people are obviously focusing on Viddal, but Nathan Corliss for the English title. It's a good match, and it will show where Viddal is at the moment. Presumably, you're very confident in Viddal, and for him, he's been very open in saying the English title is just the start.
We've looked at Nathan a few times for even the tournaments, and I know going into those tournaments he was considered the favourite. He's a good fighter, he's an unbeaten fighter, and this is his moment as well. You know, people talk about Viddal because of the audience and everything he brings to the table, but Nathan's 12-0. He's worked for this position. He's coming here to win the English title, and that's what he's worked towards. It's a great fight. Viddal has huge expectations of himself. But he's going to have to be on. This is a level of opposition he's not faced before. I think you have to credit people like Viddal. You see so many boxers now that are looking for those crossover opportunities, looking for opportunities that maybe provide more money but the easier route. You know, you talk about Dan Aziz and you talk about the Tyler Denny's, the guys that the British boxing fans really love. British boxing fans need to get behind Viddal Riley because he has the opportunity to take easier options, and he wants the accolades, he wants the domestic accolades, and credit to him, and I think he'll go right to the top.
But you can't stray away from the fact that he is slightly different to anybody else you've got in your stable because he has got a huge crossover profile. We've even noticed with some of the football stuff that we did last week with Ledley King and Tottenham Hotspur, the numbers on that and the numbers on everything that he does, because of his audience, are so much bigger. He has got this profile that you feel that bit's taken care of. If the boxing follows, you have got a real superstar there.
Exactly, he is the promoter's dream. Imagine getting a novice that comes with millions of followers, that comes with millions of people knowing who he is, but then having that same guy want to take the traditional route and want to take the challenges and want to take every fight that you put in front of him. He wants to move quickly. He's looking at Richard Riatpour, Chris Billon-Smith, Lawrence Okoli, probably the top 3 cruiserweights in the country, and wants to be in and amongst it. And yeah, credit to him. I think he's a potential pay-per-view star at cruiserweight, and he has everything. Sometimes I do get concerned in the sense that there's so much more pressure on him. There's so many more people watching his fights than other novices in his journey. But he seems to just enjoy it. He seems to relish in it. He wants to be headlining shows, and massive test on Saturday night. Ben,
nice one. We'll catch up with you later. And I think he absolutely nailed it there. He actually embraces this pressure, Viddal Riley. This is exactly what he wants. He wants this to be happening. We're going to do a little bit of an interview here. So what I will do for the moment is I'll just pause and I'll let Savdan take over in the ring.
Battle of the unbeaten. Viddal, you said this week it's about time people start taking you seriously. Does a fight like this begin to do that for you? A title, an unbeaten opponent?
Definitely. I think winning a professional title, it gives me that legitimacy. You know, everyone can claim to be a pro boxer with a certain record, etc. But once you get a title, it gives you the legitimacy. And you know that's something before that people weren't trying to give me. So this is definitely the first step to that.
It's a legitimate opponent. What do you see when you look at Nathan? What kind of challenge are you expecting?
I see a man that wants to be English champion as well. That's the truth. He's undefeated. He knows how to win. He's done it many times. And he's going to try and do it again on Saturday. It's my job to crash that. But I see a man that's motivated, and I see a man that wants to be champion as much as me.
Nathan, it's a huge opportunity for you, but one you've been waiting for. How do you take it with both hands?
We've got to, haven't we? You know, we're both here to do our job. We want to be the best we want to be. And you've got to beat these type of opponents to be the best. I'm excited to fight for the English title. And, you know, there's been English champions in the past and they've not been this type of opponent. So I think, you know, we've got to get respect from a lot of people for both of us for taking this fight.
12-0. Where would you rank Viddal in your list of opponents?
He's top 10. Top 10 opponents. Oh, in my
yes, in yours, yeah.
No. Yeah, he's
still top 10.
Yeah, he's my toughest test. I'm not going to stand here and say that he isn't. Yeah, so that's it. Really.
Still top 10.
Top 10, yeah.
Top 1. Viddal, we're expecting a tough fight, but you've always said that you're destined for bigger things. How far can you go?
As far as I want to go, as far as I put my mind to, I've dedicated my life to the sport. I continue to, and we're seeing the results. We're seeing the progression. So as far as I want to go is as far as I'll go. But I ain't looking past Saturday. I'm not looking past Nathan.
You're on a hot streak at the moment. 4 KOs on the spin. Nathan's yet to register a stoppage win. Is it fair to say that the power lies with you in this fight?
Well, of course. Again, he's a cruiserweight, just like me. He's going to try and hit me with bad intentions, just like I am. But mine count. I'm going to show that mine count.
Nathan, you obviously hit harder than your record suggests. You've hurt opponents. You've dropped opponents. Are you confident that if you land flush on Viddal, that you can still get a stoppage?
Yeah, of course. I think I'd be stupid to say I wouldn't if I did. I believe in my power. You know, a lot of people won't believe in it because I've not had the stoppage, but I know from the amateurs I've had stoppages, I've heard people. And sometimes, you know, because I'm a boxer, people go into the shell a little bit in the fights, and it is hard to land clean. I think sometimes when you're looking back on the fight, I could have pressed a little bit more. I've sort of coasted the fight, but we're in the type of fight that we can't coast, so I'm looking forward to it.
You would have had a long look at Viddal, obviously. Without giving too much away, how do you beat him on Saturday night?
I think just boxing. You know, I know what I can do in the ring. I'm slippy, I can box, I have got power. So if I keep it long with him, you know, we know he's gonna come in, he's gonna try and throw his big looping shots, stay clear of them, and should get the victory.
Viddal, give me a prediction for Saturday night.
Well, of course, I predict the dub. I predict the win. We train for finishes. He better come to fight, because that's what we're going to do. It's a boxing match, but the art of fighting has been lost, and we're bringing that back.
I'm going to press you for a prediction as well. What do you predict?
A win. Either a points win, or I reckon I can get him out there later on.
Only the win that counts. Good luck to both of you.
So this is our face-off. Viddal Riley, Nathan Corliss. We're trying to get a clean shot. There you go. That is our face-off. Our co-main event. Viddal Riley, Nathan Corliss, the English cruiserweight title up for grabs. Almost nothing between them in height. Maybe Nathan just a fraction taller. Both in tremendous shape, as you would expect for an English title fight. And there you go, a warm handshake between the two. That's nice to see as well. So I wonder if we can just jump straight on Nathan. I'm sorry to jump straight on you. A lot of respect between the two of you there, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that we think when the first bell rings, this has got a really good fight written all over it.
Yeah, we know sort of what he's going to come and do. We're expecting a really tough first 4 rounds, and then if you're going by off the Taj fight, we got him out of there, but he did start to fade in the 4th round. So, we're expecting him to come out, all guns blazing, 1-4, and then we think he'll start fading.
In terms of experience, you've got more rounds in the tank, but you haven't done the 10-round distance. Is that a concern at all?
No, I think because we've done the 8, and we've had the 8-round camp, we've had 2 10-round camps. Obviously, the one that we were supposed to have was last year in September, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. So, we've got the experience, we've had the sparring, and we've got it in the tank. So, there's no worries from us.
They're making a lot of this knockout stat. We're all getting a bit gassed up on that. Obviously, that's not something you and your team are worried about. But I did hear Dan put it to you there. Do you think you hit harder than your record suggested? Dare I say, have you been holding a little bit back for this sort of night, and you're going to shock us all?
Do you know what? We've always laughed about that, to be honest. I feel like in some of the fights I could have got the stoppages, and like I said in the ring, sometimes I've opted to coast in some fights, because sometimes in the journeyman, they're covering up, and it is hard to break them down. A lot of time you come out there with sore hands, because you're hitting the top of the head. But I believe in my power. You don't knock people out in the amateurs if you don't have power.
You mentioned your amateur record there. I mean, we should give that some credence. So, 2-time ABA semi-finalist. You've got to be a good amateur fighter to get to the semi-finals of the ABAs.
Yeah, and you know what? When I was about in the amateurs, just some top lads. One who was standing there before, Chris Billen Smith. He's a world champion now. I boxed him in the quarterfinals. Shep Clark, and then some other names. We were top 10. Cruiserweights in the country. You had Tom Pogson, who was a 2-time ABA champion. I beat the likes of him. PJ Stubbs, brilliant. You know what? he would have been a brilliant pro as well. And I always did that when some of these lads had 40 to 50 fights. I was on like 13 fights, maybe less when I went into the senior levels. So the elite level, sorry. And and I proved a lot. People looked at my record as an amateur, 12, 13 fights, and I was winning, lads. Come up a short in some of the top boys, but
for the level and experience I have, therefore, I had a decent amateur career. Just to finish, how are you dealing with this whole
the Liam Smith undercard before. You actually, I think you boxed with an injury. You dropped Tony Visic and then got an injury and won on points. But it is a slight bit different. You know, everyone wants to talk to you. The bright lights are on you. You know, we're thrusting microphones at every opportunity. How are you dealing with it? Because there is no secret that Viddal's got that big profile because of everything else that he's done with his career. There is a big spotlight on you. I wonder how you're coping with that.
Do you know what? I've been sound with like the interviews and stuff. But I think earlier on in my career, I struggled quite a bit with interviews, and I think it wasn't nothing like this, but you know, it's helped me, you know, gain experience in this side of it as well, and it's not really phased me. And even stuff like, you know, I've never had to deal with like internet trolls and stuff like that. Even that's not phased me. So I've just sort of in tunnel vision for this fight, and you know, we called for it, so we've got to go out there and perform and show why we did call for it.
More power to you. If you're an idiot enough to internet troll you, then you deserve everything that you get. Good to speak to you, Nathan Corliss. Let's go right round to Magali Rodriguez. So she is here from Mexico with proven, genuine quality on her CV. Her last fight was a draw with Estelle Moselli. She's a very, very good fighter in her own right. And the man that I was looking for is actually right next to me here, Andy Clark. Tell us what we need to know about Magali Rodriguez. I just spoke to some insiders in the Boxer promotional team, and they say that in terms of her confidence and her professionalism, she's come in and checked her weight. She's fine in that regard, but she's absolutely 100% confident that Boxer and Team McGuigan have made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's come with a good team, a good kind of entourage, which is always a good sign. I was talking to a promoter earlier on, and in terms of the weight, she was at super lightweight for her last fight against Estelle Moselli. She's down at lightweight now, but really she's a featherweight. You know, they kind of have to feed her during fight week to get her up to this weight. So that's no kind of an issue at all.
And it's not that, we should say that isn't really uncommon. It's a lot more common in the female side of professional boxing as it is with the men's side. But the talent pool and the way that females can go up and down the weights, it isn't, you know, if that's the first time you've heard that, it shouldn't be too shocking to you. It happens quite a lot of the time.
No, it happens all of the time. I mean, you look at somebody like Serrano, she boxed at super flyweight and super lightweight, you know, and she did the difference between the two of them in consecutive fights. It's absolutely extraordinary how they managed to do it. But she is in shape and she believes in herself. Now, she turned pro when she was 17 off the back of 4 amateur fights, and the only reason she went to the amateur gym in the first place was because she was fighting on the street and wanted to tighten up her defence a bit. So she went to an amateur gym. 2 months later she turned professional, and that's what she's been doing ever since. She's a tough, well-seasoned pro, and she's got some ability. You watch that fight against Moselli, and Moselli is someone who did very well as an amateur, but who hasn't adapted to pro boxing, basically because she doesn't really want to commit and engage. And Rodriguez did her absolute best to make her throughout the course of the fight, put her down at the start of the 7th, a knockdown that 2 of the judges didn't seem to count. They scored that round 10-9, and they both ended up with a draw. So if they counted it, which they should have done, or scored it 10-8, then she'd have won that fight. So that's the kind of level that she's been at. And her confidence is, as you say, it's real. And you can tell, can't you, when somebody arrives during fight week as to whether they're coming in hope or expectation. And she's coming in expectation and looking forward to it, because they know that Dubois won't do what Moselli did. Dubois will engage and really want to fight, and they feel that will prove to be her undoing. I think it's a really, really good match. They've done well with Dubois so far, bringing her through. Boxer and the McGuigans have had a big say in that as well, of course, and we all know about their track record with that, with Josh Taylor in particular, but Chris Smith, who's just over our shoulder. They're really good at it. And as the promoter said to me himself, he said, if Dubois is going to go on and achieve in this sport what they think she can, as in Boxer, then she has to be able to handle Magali. They just don't think she will be able to.
All very, very valid points. I should just point out, and you do your own independent research, the 2 stoppages. So Magali Rodriguez's record, for those of you out there, 22 wins, 9 of those have come inside the distance. She has been beaten 6 times. But she's been stopped twice in 2010 and 2011 against fighters that have gone on to achieve nothing, without being too harsh. And when she was stopped at the time, they were out of the blue. You know, they were against. I think one fighter had one win, one loss. You know, out of nowhere for someone that looks so tough since, so durable, so well schooled. I can't find anything on them. It seems so strange. There could have been cuts. I don't know if she was knocked out, but they're so strange. You know, like I love a box rec like Enigma. Like, what is that? And I wonder if you'd know any more than I do.
I don't. But what we do know is that she was very young when that happened. It was early in her career, and the circumstances of these things are always interesting. It could be any number of reasons, really, and you see that on people's records quite often. And I don't really pay too much attention to it. I always look at when has it happened, and it was a long time ago. It doesn't mean that it doesn't count for anything, but if anything, that can teach you about the business that you're in. It could cause a shift in mindset, in mentality. And what we know about her is that she will come to fight, but she does have reasonable technique as well. And as I said, the frustration against Magali was the fact that she was in with someone who didn't really want to engage in the way that she did. But Dubois will. I mean, Lascano, who we saw her box here over 8 rounds on that blistering night, heat-wise, she had the same experience, but then against Dubois it was much harder for her because she's got someone who wanted to get on top of her from the beginning. As I say, I think this is a good match. I think it's ideal, really. Top of the bill, IBO title, which isn't the same as the other 4, we know that. But at the same time, it's all there is available at the minute because Katie Taylor's got those 4 other titles, and to an extent is holding them to ransom because she won't have defended any of them this year. But Dubois got very good rankings. She's number 1 with 2 of the sanctioning bodies, so if she can get the win against Rodriguez, then we'll have to see what happens next.
Andy, as always, pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure I will catch you up on my way round. Those of you that are just joining us, this will be one of our co-headliners. I'm being very cautious to spell that out. So it's quite interesting. Caroline Dubois has to be the last fight on the bill. She has to be for logistical reasons, if nothing else, because Team McGuigan are fragmented. So Shane McGuigan is over in Wembley with Ellie Scotney, who's defending her IBF title. He will then, I don't know if he's getting on a bike or an Uber or other taxi firms are available. He's then shooting across London. I don't know how long that's going to take him on a Saturday night so he can get here for Caroline. So that is the reason that Caroline Dubois, she's got every argument to go last on anyway, but the main reason is she has to be last on because Shane McGuigan is double booked on that night. Only in boxing, it is an amazing little story, that, although I'm absolutely petrified that something could go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, you do see it every now and again, don't you? We had trainers during COVID who would go from one show to the next show in the space of a few hours, making sure they didn't get in the car with anybody else who'd been outside the bubble and all that kind of carry on. But yeah, I think they'll take it in their stride. I'd imagine he'll be getting on the back of a bike, and if he is, because that's kind of my way home if I'm in Wembley to come back to the East End, it doesn't actually take that long, so I don't anticipate it being any kind of a problem. But you know, there's some other good fights on this card. I like the look of our Brazilian friend Igor Mercado. I like the look of him.
I don't think you heard our interview, did you? He was very, very calm and respectful of Jamie TKV, with a perfect degree of threatening violence in there, which was great. And they did a friendly head-to-head, which then just started to make me feel uncomfortable that it wasn't as friendly as I thought it was, and I thought I'd misread it. But he speaks broken English enough to threaten TKV. It was great. But yeah, he's a big man and he's in shape, and anyone like that at that weight, that's enough. Whilst we were talking there, that was Caroline Dubois with her sisters watching on intently, and she's smiling away there. And she always, to be fair, she always is smiling, but she has got that switch that flicks, which is incredible when it goes, because she goes from sweet Caroline to anything but almost immediately. And when you look at her like that, it's, you mentioned Katie Taylor, it is something that some of these athletes have, and I love it.
Yeah, me too, and that's what you absolutely need to be able to do. When you need to turn it on, you have to be utterly cold, ruthless, merciless, because that's what this is. There's no point pretending. You know, this isn't a nice business when the bell goes. You have to want to hurt your opponent. That's what you sign up to. You're going to try and hurt them. They're going to try and hurt you, and you're both okay with it. That's what it is. And she's looking to win inside the distance. She's looking to get that knockout. She's aggressive. And we've seen her in recent times calling everybody out. She was quite quiet early in her pro career, but now she's really come out of herself and has got plenty to say. And, you know, I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. Side to her.
Andy, I'm going to take a little bit of a walk. So I'm just going to make my way round the ring. I've lost you there. There you are. Here I am. I was just wandering aimlessly there. I was actually going to come round to this side of the ring because I think she probably thought that she had escaped. But Fran Hennessy is with the I should say with the whole family. Fran, I'm going to crouch down. No, but the danger is I might not get back up. Which this has been a stream of embarrassing moments for me. Good to see you, Dad, as well, Mick, and Bradley Skeet, trainer. Yes, look, nothing is by fluke in this business. It's coordinated. You stayed around to watch everybody. Is this? Look, you know the York Hall. You know all about it. But every minute that you spend in here in this sort of professional environment, presumably, is helping.
100%. You know, I'm actually taking all of this in. I love it, and being under the bright lights, watching everyone else as well. That's what you have to do. You have to take it all in, and I can't wait for Saturday.
How are the nerves? I don't know you that well. You've come across everything that we've done so far. There are no nerves, but it is to be expected that it's a nervous time, especially making a pro debut. You're only going to make one.
Look, there's butterflies, but you know what? I thrive off this. Honestly, without the pressure makes diamonds, and I'm loving it. On Saturday night, everyone's going to see how well I take that pressure, because honestly, I'm made for this limelight.
Debuts are funny things though, because I think you do get a little bit more of a pass on your debut because it's the first time you're going to be doing it. Yep, you had an amateur career, but it is a different game, same sport, different game. I've heard that a million times. You do get a bit of a pass, but at the same time, it is your first shop window to show everybody what Francesca Hennessy is all about.
Definitely. Look, you only get one debut, and I know I'm going to go in there and put on a performance. You know, it's my time to show everyone what I can do. You know, everyone's been hearing things, seeing, you know, I've had work and all this. But once they actually see it, they're going to realise what I can do.
Mick, you've been around this a million times, but never with your daughter. And look, I've seen you at ringside with the world heavyweight title. You know, it's not going to get any bigger than that. You would think, until your daughter is ring walking on her pro debut. I daren't get anywhere near you on fight night. I don't even dare look at you. But how do you think you're going to be feeling? It is going to be a unique sensation for you.
It's going to be very surreal, Andy. And I think Ben Shillong's already looking to swerve me on that night.
He said he's going to sit well away from you.
Well away from me, yeah. So, but to be fair, I'm very, very calm with Francesca. She's a brilliant athlete, brilliant performer, and this is what she's been dreaming of for years. And she, under the bright lights, that will get her even more motivated, and she'll rise to the occasion. She's an incredible talent and personality with it, and follow her journey. It's going to be something special.
I don't know how you do it. I cried taking my daughter to primary school the other day for the first time, so I got no hope. Bradley, I can't leave you out just before I go. So she's in your hands now. You're sat next to it, but she's in your hands. Very capable hands. Presumably, you've got the same sort of nerves, but they're good nerves. Butterflies to get this journey underway.
That's it. She needs them. I said to her, they're going to have a little bit of nerves, and that's what's going to make you. And yeah, she's cool, calm, and collected. She's going to be a superstar, and this is just a start. She's taking it all in. She does it with a smile on her face, and she's ready to go.
I don't think I was working with you when you made your pro debut, but was it under Al Smith? Can you remember what Al said to you before your pro debut, and will you echo something similar to Fran?
The same as told Fran. Enjoy it. The main thing is that you enjoy it, and she's enjoying every moment of it. So that's all I ask.
Good to see you. Still looking so well. Benjamin. I always called him Benjamin Button. Like he never got any older, did he? Let's go straight to Caroline Dubois in the ring. Sweet Caroline. She boxed here on that incredible night that was topped by Fraser Clark and Marius Vac, where it was the hottest that I've ever experienced in the York Hall. And she did say, you know, it did have an effect. But that being said, she boxed brilliantly, very nearly got her opponent out of there. And she, like I said, will be on the last fight of the evening. So I'm just going to break away for a split second to your right, because I've got the man of the moment, Viddal Riley. That was all very nice with Nathan Corliss, but you're all talking a good game. This is set up quite perfectly, we think, for a barnstorming English title fight. How are you now? You're in fight week mode, and we're doing these events now, and you're always super calm. But this is professional title number 1 you're going for. Does it feel any different?
It doesn't feel any different. It just feels like I'm used to this now. You know, it's not my first, second, third, fourth public workout that I've done with Sky, with Boxer. So now I just feel like, all right, I'm here. This is part of the routine. This is part of the process. We understand tomorrow we weigh in, and then Saturday we get busy. You know, me and Anise had a lot of back and forth, but that's because that's the relationship me and him have. He actually messaged me yesterday wishing me luck. He said he might be booing me or cheering me. But Nathan's cool, man. He ain't got nothing bad to say about me. I've got nothing bad to say about him, but he just has to come to fight because ultimately that's what we're here to do.
People won't understand that, but that is the business. You're in the business of trying to knock each other out. On that, he said, yeah, look, everybody is talking about the lack of knockouts, but he said as an amateur, he had a bit more of a reputation for punching harder, and if you're getting drawn into that no knockouts and not giving that the respect it's due, then you might come a cropper. Although I have already heard you say he's a 90 kg man with gloves on and he can do damage as much as I can.
Yeah, listen, that's the threat, right? The punches are the threat, so of course we're alert to it. I mean, stopping people in the amateurs is great. I stop people in the amateurs as well. I think I stopped 19 people in the amateurs, and I've also stopped them as pros. So he's an amateur a while ago. I was an amateur a while ago. I'm more up to date with what it takes to finish your opponents.
Can I put something to you that Ben Shalom put to us earlier on the stream? He said, imagine from a promoter's point of view, you've got a guy who has a number of outside boxing opportunities to make loads of money, but yet he chooses to try and make it as a pro in the old school way. Whereas you look across the road at some of the guys in the Misfits that are the opposite. You know, they're trying to do it the opposite way. He said, imagine that as a promoter's dream. This is what I've got with Viddal Riley, a guy who wants to do it the hard way. So the question is, why? When you could have it easier?
Because the other stuff came later on in life. You know, you have to understand from a kid, this is what I've been doing. I've been boxing. I've done it the traditional way. I went through the amateurs. I've done the gym shows. I've done everything. So for me, it just came at a later stage. So it's like, why don't you dip away and change your mind? That's not what I put my life into. That's just a bonus. It's just a bonus to me, and I think it's great for my branding. It's great for my character to be shown. It's great for people to connect with me as a person, not just as a fighter. But when it comes down to it, I'm a fighter, and I'm always excited to fight.
Talk about the timeline there, 20 years. I mean, when you say it like that, you've been doing it a hell of a long time. I just want to talk to you before we get back to Caroline Dubois about the English title. I'm very keen not to be disrespectful to the English title at all. I mean, some of the best fights I've seen have been for the English title between two pros where it means the world to them. You've been very keen to point out you want to win the English title because it's the English title, but at the same time your ceiling is not the English title. Is that fair game?
That's very fair to say. You know, we didn't get in this game to become English champion. It's something I'm going to be very proud of when I achieve it. It's something that I know was the first step to me moving on. But I didn't think, all right, once I win the English, I'm going to retire and make YouTube videos. I have plans, and we know the plans is to be a world champion. So you have to start somewhere. It continues. The journey's already started. It continues Saturday, and we move on.
Good stuff. Look, I'll let you get back to your other interviews. Viddal Riley, thank you for talking to us. I'm going to spin you straight back round to Caroline Dubois, who is just going through a pad routine with Shane McGuigan. I already mentioned that Shane has got a very busy night on Saturday because he has got a jet across London. He's obviously got commitments with Ellie Scottney. We wish Ellie Scottney all the best with her own world title fight over at Wembley Arena on the Matchroom card.
Let's get straight back into it with Johnny Nelson. Johnny, we are still live, but you can remain.
Well, I asked Matt about her at the top and you about Viddal, so a chance for you to talk about Caroline Dubois. It's fast track, but every simple step of the way is just so impressive. I feel like she's barely put a foot wrong, if any.
I think Caroline Dubois, I said she's the opponent. I was just speaking to KC, and when you go in the gym, you look at the preparation, look at her work, and he said, Johnny, I've seen her devil to details, and she's on it, she's on point, she's not an idiot. So she's happy to be in this position now. This is a pressure she's comfortable with. You know, you look at it.
A pressure she's called for.
That's what this is what she wants. So, and if you're a fighter and there's bigger fighters and bigger names, established names in front of you, and you respect them, but you also want to get in there and you think, I want to fight you. I respect you. You're a don, but I want to get in there with you. That's Caroline. She wants to get up there and fight the Mayas and all those above her because she's a young, hungry gun, and that's who she is. And so she's the kind of fighter that within a year's time, all those fights will be very, very possible. And it's not just pie in the sky, it's a conversation. Those fights should be happening, without a doubt.
I wonder if it'll even take 12 months. With the way that she's going,
it won't be her, it'll be them. They'll want to develop amnesia, put the blinkers on. I'm telling you, they'll not want to have the conversation. That'll be the case because they'll be looking forward, she's looking forward in their direction. So they're the ones that will not have the conversation. They're the ones that will avoid that situation. Within 12 months, she'll be one that's having to get in their face.
the example for me to give to you there is Michaela Mayer. Now, the weight means that I don't think that they are going to be able to meet anytime soon because Michaela's working her way up to 147. However, if you're Michaela Mayer, she could have beaten Alicia Baumgartner that night, but she was a former unified world champion. For her to be called out by Caroline Dubois, who's literally in the early stage of her career, did you ever have that where you had someone calling out and you think, what right have you got to do that? It's a strange dynamic.
So I was at a point in my career, David Hay was coming along. And I know David Hay was good. I'm like, damn. And before, David wanted to come to the gym and come and spar. And I said yes to David. And Brendan said, no, you're not letting him in the gym. I said, why? He said, if you spar with him, he's either going to fight you or he's not going to fight you. But let him find out about what you spar like when he gets in the ring to fight you. And so David Hay was the one that I could see over the horizon. Michaela Mayer, every time she's done an interview, she has not gone into conversation about Caroline ever. Now, even though she said, yeah, Caroline's mentioned her name, but moved on. And they don't want those conversations. Caroline is that, she's that looming shadow where they say, she's coming, she's on her way. And that's why I just think, give it 12 months, and she's the one they're all going to be avoided because these fights now will be at a stage in their career they'll be thinking, you know what, she's too much of a wild fight for me.
She's in incredible shape. That was her just finishing up her pad routine and just posing for the camera there. So here at York Hall on Saturday night, she will get the chance to become the IBO champion. You can see that Sav Dan is hovering with some microphones. We are going to have an interview, and I think we are also going to have a face-off between Caroline Dubois and Magali Rodriguez, the IBO World Lightweight title up for grabs here on Saturday night. Just a slight delay while we get everybody in position and in the ring. And Si, you might just have to watch behind you because Magali Rodriguez is just trying to get past you into the ring. And here she comes. Magali Rodriguez from Mexico. Let's see if she will give us a little bit of fighting talk, I think via a translator. But over to Sav Dan, who's with both fighters.
Caroline, you said you wanted the big fights, and Boxer have delivered an IBO world title. How does it feel to be fighting for such a big title at such a young age and so early on in your career?
It feels amazing, it really does. I want to thank Boxer, I want to thank Sky, Ben, I want to thank everyone that's coming down to support me. And I just hope, pray to God that I put in a really good performance worthy of the accolades that have been bestowed on top of me.
You said you wanted to be moved fast and your team agreed. How nice is it to know that everybody has such confidence in your abilities?
The most important thing is that I have confidence in my own abilities, and I feel like that's what matters. Anyone can say anything. They can say I'm not that good and I'm overrated, or they can say I'm the best thing since sliced bread. The most important thing is that I believe in myself, and I think that's all that matters.
Magali, this is a big opportunity for you as well. How do you beat Caroline?
Okay.
Es una oportunidad muy grande para ti. ¿Cómo le ganas a Carolina?
Bueno, yo vengo preparada, he tenido rivales fuertes.
Creo que tengo la madurez y la experiencia para poder.
She comes well prepared. She's fought different, very tough opponents, and she's got the experience and the strength to do it.
You have got the experience. Do you feel like Caroline can possess anything that you haven't seen before, or do you feel like you've seen it all?
¿Tú crees que tienes experiencia y crees que ella tiene algo que no has enfrentado antes?
Pues creo que no, porque he tenido competidoras que también son olímpicas. Vengo de pelear con Estel Moselli, que también fue olímpica. Siento yo que le ganamos, empatamos, fui a defender mi campeonato a su tierra y bueno, estoy acostumbrada siempre a ir a la casa de las rivales, eso no me achica.
We've had different opponents, different styles, some very strong, some like her, like Estelle, an Olympic competitor, and we got what we need, and we think we can do it.
Caroline, she's confident, she has the experience, she's been around the block, she's done it before. What do you have to show on Saturday night to beat her?
I just have to be me, you know. I've been sparring the best. This has been the hardest camp that I've ever had, you know. I've been sparring boys, men, I should say, you know. And they've been coming for me, you know. They've been coming for my head. And I've been able to hold my own amongst them. So that gives me supreme confidence in my own abilities. And not even that, you know, going back into the amateur days, I fought better people than Magali, and that's just being real. So, and I beat them as well, so I know I've got this in the bag.
You've made no secret of wanting to fight the biggest names in the division. Providing you get past Saturday night, who do you want and when? We've heard you talk about potentially Michaela Mayer and some others. Who are you after?
To be honest, I want everyone. Of course, the most important person is Magali, and I will give my full attention and my full respect. But after that, you know, I want everyone in the 135 all the way up to 140 and an extra. So I think I just need to be ready and prepared and put on a good performance. This is my breakout. This is my statement. None of that matters if I don't perform. None of that matters if I don't win. So the most important thing is to get the victory and get it well.
5 stoppages from 7. I don't think you've lost a round yet. Do you think this is the fight that can maybe push you a little bit further, or are you expecting to dominate from the start?
I'm expecting to dominate, to be honest. But, you know, that's up to Magali and her team and what she's prepared and how good she is. You know, I'm coming here to win. No one trains to lose. So that's all I can say about that.
Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
For Boxer Breakthrough live on Sky Sports, Caroline Dubois, Magali Rodriguez for the vacant IBO Lightweight Championship of the World.
There you go, Big Mo setting it up perfectly, and that was a great head-to-head between Caroline and Magali Rodriguez. I'm going to jump on him while he's here, actually. He thought I was going to go right past him, but champion of the world, Chris Smith, you were on our patch this week in Sky Sports. Great to see you looking back at all those great bits of footage from your magical night under the stars at the Vitality. Busy night for the gym on Saturday, though. I don't envy Shane McGuigan, and I'm praying for those clean, smooth roads and no traffic, but it's good for the gym. Everyone's pushing each other on, and I think that yourself and Ellie Scotland have really pushed. Not that she needed pushing, but Caroline Dubois is flying now as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not us in the gym. It's just the standard that's been set from the off. I'm the longest serving. I've just passed it along when the others left the gym or retired, like George, etc. So it's just a standard that's set by Shane and his family. And that the goal for anyone who walks through the doors is to win a world title. Obviously, I done it in May. Ellie's done it a couple of weeks later. Caroline's got the IBO on Saturday night, so it's and then you've got Adam out for the European as well, so it's an exciting time for the gym. But yeah, you're right about Shane. He's got a busy night. I don't think he's best pleased, but he'll still do it.
Which way are you going? Are you going to go to Wembley or are you going to come here?
I'm actually working for 5 Live.
The enemy. No, I'm joking. Yeah, you're commentating, aren't you?
Yeah, for the Opetaya-Thompson fight, because that's another belt which I've got my eye on, and so they've got me in for that. But unfortunately, I was going to do Ellie's because she's on early, and then come over here. But obviously, I'm working that now.
Don't worry, because it's a terrific opportunity for me to plug Sky Go, so you can watch it on your device if you're a Sky subscriber, live from Wembley. Just let me have a look, so you can see so the cut is healing really well.
Yeah. There's a tiny little nick which is getting microneedled, and all the oil on it at the moment, which is getting broken down. So be ready to spar again in a couple of weeks. And but I'm in the gym anyway, plugging away, getting the fat off from some nice meals. And it's all good. Looking forward to getting some news hopefully in the next few weeks.
Yeah, well, you think that division is ready to go now, and you're right at the top of it with the belt, but other champions look like they're being manoeuvred into a position that we could have some sort of not super series, but you could all fight each other, and that's exciting times for everyone. I don't want to keep Caroline waiting too much, although I don't want to be rude to you. Caroline Dubois, she's not in earshot. Just how good do you think she is?
She, the only thing stopping Caroline is herself, and I don't mean that in a negative way, and she does stop herself because her mindset is growing all the time, and she's so young, so inexperienced, and once she gets that experience, it'll come. And I've said it a few times recently, and I think if she stays on the path she's on with the mindset she's on, she'll be the greatest woman of all time, and I believe that by the time she retires, she will be.
Okay, what a great line to end on. Great to see you looking so well. Look after yourself. See you soon. Can I get to Caroline Dubois? I can. Am I going to be rude by jumping in here? Look at that. This is the power that I hold around here, Caroline, basically. Yeah. How's everything? Chris Billum-Smith just gave us a line, and I'm going to feed it to you now. He said, the only person that can beat Caroline is Caroline, and I genuinely believe by the time that she finishes, she will be the greatest woman of all time. So it's over to you. How does that sound when someone puts that to you?
It's amazing. Definitely agree with the first part, and trying to make that second part happen. I believe that the only person that beats me right now is me, and I just have to go out there, perform, keep putting on big performance, big statements, big wins, and that will make my legacy, and that will make me the greatest woman.
You stayed or got here nice and early to watch Magali Rodriguez. Probably watched it all before, but how did she shape up to you, and what caught your eye?
I mean, she looks in shape, she looks slim, she looks trim, she looks, like she's trained hard, and I think that's been the one, she's had a lot of time for this camp, and she's trained hard. She didn't give much away in the pads, so I didn't see anything from there. I just expecting a good fight, an experienced veteran. I think she'll be very relaxed in the ring, smiling, just very chilled, and it's up to me to make her uncomfortable. It's up to me to make her know that, okay, this is the toughest challenge that you're going to have, and I'm here to, mess stuff up.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, this guy sounds slightly bizarre question, but how much does it matter anyway who's in the opposite corner? One of the things I've noticed about the McGuigan's gym is you guys are focused on yourself. Yes, you're paying her respect, and yes, you've done your homework, but it's about you, and it's about how you've prepared, and it's about how you execute a game plan, not necessarily about what Rodriguez is doing.
No, definitely, it isn't about her. I've trained hard for her. I've given her the respect by putting my body through absolute pain this camp. I think this has been the toughest camp I've had. The sparring has been brutal. I've had to dig deep, and it hasn't all gone my way. So I'll be taking that into the ring, and putting a little bit of that pain on top of her. So I think the most important thing is to ready ourselves, or ready our own selves, and be better, the best version of ourselves.
Will you give us a final, not necessarily a prediction, but what do you want to show us on Saturday night? What's the dream scenario?
Listen, Magali's more experienced than me. She's had more fights, and she's supposed to be the toughest challenger in my career. So my job is to go out there and show that I'm levels above this woman. I'm levels above this level right here. I'm world level, and the only way I show that is by coming out here Saturday night and dominating, putting an absolute masterclass, and just showing I'm levels above. If that's by stoppage, that's by stoppage. If that's by a 10 round absolute beatdown, then that is what it is, and that's what I'm coming to give.
Brilliant. Listen, we wish you all the best. The absolute definition of fighting talk. Look, I'll let you go because I jumped in and upset a few people there. Listen, that's the end of this live stream. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you've been watching in the world. If you enjoyed this content, I hope you did. Don't tell me if you didn't. But if you did, make sure you come back tomorrow because we will have more. The weigh-in, 1 o'clock, I'm being told. So make sure you join us then. We'll go live probably just a fraction before that. But 1 o'clock, the weigh-in, live from York Hall. Everyone will be on the scales. Hopefully they make weight. And then, of course, all roads lead to a fight night here at the York Hall on Saturday. So make sure you join us then. 7 o'clock is when you want to set your alarms for on Saturday night. Join us then.